Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Damn it. Remember, fully viewer funded. It's all on you. If there's no you, there is no me. Hit the description box, hit that link tree, and do what you got to do. Stick your hand all the way up inside your generosity and pull something out for your boy. After I'm done here, I got to make sure I take these thank you letters in the house so I can mail them. People were not kind enough to send me letters and other things, so I always make sure that I send a thank you letter back. Shout out again to Lauren in Texas. She was the first one to buy both of my gun art, my GART projects. I have more coming. The next one's going to be a rainbow because we need to reclaim that. We need to start taking shit back from these weirdos and these freaks that hijacked shit and got all parasitic and took it over. No, that's not yours. That's ours. So I'll be doing a project kind of reclaiming the rainbow or taking it back and making it a normal thing. Now it is impossible to look at a rainbow as just a rainbow and not a representation of the alphabet soup group and the Ku Klux Trans. So we are all aware of the terrible wildfire that took place in Maui, or on the island of Maui. And we all know how Sloppy Joe dropped the ball and didn't handle it properly. He didn't speak about it until days later. And today he finally made his way to Maui, orthopedic shoes on the ground. So I mentioned before in the first video that I did about the fires in Maui that let me adjust this, that he should have made a statement, number one, and he should have gotten his ass over there. Now, I also mentioned before that we know when he got there, it was going to be a lot of incoherent speech, but we still needed Sloppy Joe to do his best to put the hearts and minds of the people of Maui at ease with whatever words he could string together. He did that today, 2 weeks later. And he still hasn't been to East Palestine, Pennsylvania. He told them that he was going to stop by there. He still hasn't made it. Maybe they're on his itinerary. Maybe he hasn't gotten to it yet. I don't know. But East Palestine, Sloppy Joe has not come to see you yet. But he finally made his way to Maui 2 weeks later. And before we talk about, and I will put a link in the description box to this article or to this video, because you need to put eyes and ears on his press conference in Maui. So, hold on, move this shit out the way. First of all, his motorcade, before he got, and he made 2 stops. I don't know if this motorcade was on the way to his first stop or his second stop, but I put a link in that video too, or a link to that video. And the people who were lining the streets to welcome Biden were flipping in the bird, fuck you, Joe Biden. It was hilarious and amazing and beautiful and all of these different things. It was wonderful. It was good. It was funny. It was needed. All those things wrapped up into one. What an experience. I can't wait for you to see that. But the whole time the motorcade's going by, it's double birds and F-bombs for everybody. Also, so again, I don't know if it's his first or second stop, but he's walking down the streets of Maui, seeing all the wreckage. Who knows what he's thinking as he's looking around. But he's holding, so he's next to somebody else, some other official. I wasn't even really paying attention to what they looked like, but I could see that it was another man and his wife, some official from Hawaii. They were holding hands. They were holding hands like they were a couple and they were in love. Sloppy Joe was holding Jill's hand like she was helping him stay upright. Like she was there in more of a medical capacity, like she was a nurse. I don't know why we call her Dr. Jill. She needs to be called Nurse Jill. She needs to put on the white outfit with the white nurse shoes with the thick ass bottom like this and a white hat with a red cross on it. That's what she needs to be dressed like, because she is his caretaker, not his first lady. She's his first responder. That's what she is. So she's holding his hand. They're coming down the street and they set up a podium and it just looked weird. Just fucking stand there and talk. So he's walking up to the podium, but he's shuffling to the podium, but it's almost like he's leaning forward and his feet are trying to keep up with the upper half of his body. Like his upper half, his torso is ahead of his feet, and he's like doing this little shuffle, this little Mr. Magoo shuffle up to the podium. And then he proceeds to read. He didn't give a heartfelt speech. I believe that if Trump were there, if Trump were president during this disaster, he would have came with some unprepared remarks. He would have just came there and spoke from the heart. But Biden had this pre-written thing, and it wasn't even really a speech. It was more of a list of things, a list of his accomplishments. And he started off right off the bat, he's fucking up. He was talking about some kind of advisor or something, somebody who was the head of something there. He didn't get his name right. And then he said, when I first saw you, you looked like you were a defensive lineman for I don't know the name, some team. That's what he said. Come on now. You don't have to be a professional politician to handle that sentence. Hey, man, first time I saw you, you looked like you were a defensive lineman for the 49ers. Just pick an NFL team. Or, how about this, Sloppy Joe? Let me blow your ass. Let me blow your mind, Sloppy Joe. You could have said you look like a defensive lineman from the University of Hawaii. Because you're in Hawaii. Never mind. So, he talks about, he gets this guy's name wrong. He can't think of a team that he supposedly played for. He referred to the FEMA administrator. Her last name is Criswell. As in Christopher, Crispy, Crisco, Christmas. The same Chris. Her name is Criswell. But he called her Griswell. Now, come on now. That Criswell, Griswell. I think that warranted a correction. I mean, Criswell. That's what I meant to say. Griswell. I mean, Criswell. You should have gotten that right. How many times you said that woman's name in the past 2 weeks? No. And then he reads the list of things, because that wasn't a speech. He reads the list like a kid in high school who doesn't like speaking in front of people, and he's part of a group, so he has to get up in front of the class and read some stuff. He was reading that information like he didn't want to be up there. He was blowing through it. He was a lot of mumbling, a lot of slurring of words, like he just wanted to get through it. Fuck, let me get back on the plane. Nurse Jill just got me a fresh bundle of 9-year-old hair. A little old for my taste, but I'll take it. And a big old pint of chocolate chip ice cream. He had better shit to do. America. He didn't have time to be in Maui saying shit from the heart. There's a damn Andy Griffith marathon on. I got better shit to do. So then he talks about, and I might sound a little heartless, a little callous here, but I don't care. Then he brought up, he says, I know what it's like to lose something. I remember when I got the call that an 18-wheeler had broadsided my wife and my little girl. Look, bruh, every time you're somewhere in front of people who are going through sad shit, doesn't mean you have to bring up your sad shit, because then it sounds like it's just a talking point. Then it sounds like his, no, it's not hyperbole. That's a fact. And he also said that in the beginning. It was something like Hawaii is the most beautiful place. You're so brave. It's not hyperbole. See, because you say that shit all the time because you're just copying and pasting. None of this is from the heart. Does he have a heart? Is his heart still working? Obviously, his heart is not pumping the blood that his brain needs to his brain. Maybe 75% is getting there. But it's not heartfelt It's copy and paste. The same old corny ass, I guess you can call them jokes, but jokes are usually funny at some point. He's blowing through the speech, mispronouncing people's names, trailing off words. He doesn't give a shit. And like I said, I'll put a link in the description box to the video, because if I had to suffer through it, so do you. Thankfully, you look at it, it says 24 minutes, and you think to yourself the exact same thing I thought to myself. Shit, 24 minutes of this? But there are other people who speak in the 24 minutes, so you only get Sloppy Joe for about 10 minutes. It is bad. This is one of his worst verbal performances you've ever seen. He couldn't have looked more like a frail old man if he tried. The way he almost stumbled to the podium, the way he was holding on to Jill, Nurse Jill, for dear life. So then, at his other speaking engagement that he had on the island of Maui, of course, he had a couple leis on. And he says, and I couldn't believe it, and I'll put a link to this as well. I couldn't believe that he said this. Even imagine how tasteless this is for me to say, I can't believe he said this after listening to Sloppy Joe talk since 2019. The new Sloppy Joe, not the Sloppy Joe that was in office with Obama. That's a different human being. But he says, Jill and I have an idea. He's like, oh, I'm not comparing stories, but I'm about to compare stories. He says, I don't want to compare stories, but we know what it's like to lose something, like to lose a house or something like that. And he proceeds to tell them how he was away doing something and he got a call that there was a lightning strike and it started a fire in his house. And he said, we lost our house and I almost lost my 67 Corvette and my cat. In front of a bunch of, and it turns out his house didn't burn down. It was out in like 20 minutes and it was confined to the kitchen. But again, you know, he's also been a civil rights activist, and he's marched to desegregate things in Delaware, and he got arrested trying to visit Nelson Mandela. So the list of bullshit stories is long. But how insensitive. It's almost like there's something wrong with his brain. It's almost like his brain had some kind of trauma, and the part of the brain that has empathy got damaged. It's almost like he had 3 aneurysms and an embolism. It's almost like he had the top of his head removed twice for surgery. It's almost like that. Like, you don't know where you are. You don't realize what these people have been through. And you say some shit like, I almost lost my 67 Corvette and my cat. Hey, Sloppy Joe, come in close, because I know you probably haven't turned your bell tone up all the way. But come in close. Fuck your Corvette, the same Corvette that you stacked the classified documents next to. But Trump can't do that. And fuck your cat. People of Maui, I'm not telling you what to do because you're adults, but man, oh man, if you vote for this son of a bitch in 2024, after the delayed response, the delayed comments, he doesn't show up for 2 weeks, then he tells you how, oh no, I get it, I almost lost a car and a feline. And he brings up his tragedies, almost trying to one-up you. Rushes through the speech. Don't even care. He don't even want to be there. He doesn't even want to be there. He can't even act like he wants to be there. My mom used to tell my brother and I, you guys may not like each other, but you better act like it. He couldn't even act like it. He couldn't muster enough acting skills to act like he wanted to be there in Maui during this time of loss and tragedy. You know why he couldn't do it? because his brain is fucked up. It doesn't function like it used to, and the part of the brain that would tell him to act like he cares is no longer functioning. You ever went up to a business, you know it's closed, but you're still going to go up to that window and go like this to look for movement and light? You know that thing is closed down. You know they're not open. That's that section of Sloppy Joe's brain. And they're just, is it? Do you see a light? Any movement? No. That part of the brain is shut down, no longer in use. It will not be reactivated because you know, once the brain dies, it cannot regenerate. It cannot fix itself. Brain damage is permanent. 3 aneurysms and an embolism to one brain. If I told you that happened to one family, you'd be like, shit, that family has bad luck. The great-grandfather, the grandfather, the dad, and the son. One of them had an embolism and 3 of them had an aneurysm. Fuck. That family is unlucky. No, all that shit happened to one brain. But we want another 4 out of him. I don't know if he has another 4. I don't know if he's going to finish this one. He has had 1 calendar year. He has spent 1 calendar year, more than 365 days on vacation. I'm done. Do you know how it goes? I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree links. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net and hit that Teespring link and get yourself some damn merch. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.